there's something about like these cameras that we can go back to from like 50 years ago that are still working in perfect condition and were made so well that they still work and they're still taking incredible images. All right, my name is Ellis Holcombe. I'm a junior at Biola, CMA major. Grew up in Hong Kong for 7 years of my life. Love film photography. When I was in 8th grade, I took an art class. One of the sessions in the class was photography. I like picked up the camera. I loved it. I was like, oh, I think low-key this might be what I want to do in the future. Just started bringing around my buddies around me. We shot some things, and I thought it was super cool. But then my freshman year, I started being able to like specialize a little bit, and so I could take a photo class. And I was like, I still think this is what I want to do. I took a photo class, and they completely switched it up on us. They're like, you have to shoot film. And I was like, I've never done that before.
My name is Marcel. I've been doing, a little bit of photography here and there since high school. It's like 2018, 2017. I got my first digital camera in 2017. I emailed my professor and I was like, hey, what if I decided to like start developing film? And so I bought some black and white film from my local camera store and just started shooting with that. He kind of gave me a little bit of information on how to do that. After I'd shot a couple rolls, I went and I started developing it myself.
I would say film photography to me is kind of the epitome of like what photography is as like a creative medium, which is like capturing authentic moments.
Film photography is a medium in which the true essence of photography is captured and in which you capture this to the slightest point in silver. It's the true essence of what you're trying to get.
My grandfather was a photographer, and he was a photographer before digital got big, and so I basically inherited a bunch of his camera gear, and it just got me way more into film because I was like, oh, there's like no way that I can't get into this. I kind of thought that my photos before, I was like happy with them, and I was like, they still feel kind of mediocre, and I started taking photos on film. And I would get my photos back and I'd be like, whoa, these are so cool. Like, this looks amazing.
I think some of my favorite photos and memories I've ever taken are on film. And so for me, it really allows me to feel like I am more preserving what I am like photographing. The way I interact at post photo is so different from what I do if I'm doing something digitally. Right, like I don't really edit my film photos.
That's a huge part of it too, because the camera culture around film photography is just, massive. Like people love the cameras. They're like, this was like, why don't people make stuff like this anymore? Or like that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think even with the idea of like, oh, there's so many cameras coming out now, it's like that's kind of I think why people turn back, because they're like, well, I don't know all the technical specs of this camera and that camera and why this camera's better.
During the pandemic, everybody was looking for a hobby. Everybody was looking for something to do at home that, that was fun. And so specifically, like I know that the sale of medium format cameras went up in 2020, which to me is just a very interesting coincidence. I think that has something to do with it. I also think that like people are just looking for something that's more tangible.
The idea that you have one shot to take and it has to be how you want it to look is so new that when people revisited it, people actually really liked that.
I think the main reason like film has had a second boom is because people are recognizing the different qualities that come with film photography. And I think people are really like yearning to capture photos and capture memories in a meaningful way. There's a lot of loss of tactile things and real objects. Like a lot of people aren't printing photos anymore. We have all our photos on our phone. We don't need to print photos. And I think that film photography really feeds into that tactile nature and gives us this full connection to what we're making. It's literally a tangible thing, a tangible memory that you can hold on to. And so I feel like a lot of people are recognizing that and also the power of that. It's much more authentic if you're taking a film photo. And people already recognize that, right? You have this danger element to it. Like if you open the camera, everything's ruined, right? If you don't develop it correctly, it's all gone. And so in that way, it really causes you to slow down and make sure that you are doing things correctly.
It's limited. It gives you a challenge, right? Digital photography, I can pull up my DSLR and just go right? And I can take like 20 pictures in like, 10 seconds, more than that. Versus this, like, if you take those 20 pictures, then you're gonna have 4 more or 17 more to take. And like, that's it.
I think film will continue to stick around because it is the purest form of photography. I think if we can show that this is something that we want to keep doing and keep doing and get more people involved and get more people doing it and appreciating it, that will allow us, kind of future-proof it, if you will.
I think it's just a good way to challenge yourself, for people to see a different way that the world used to be, and yeah, just to build on that. This is real. I put work into this. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into creating art. And so I think, yeah, that creation and then that delayed gratification as well makes like the finished product so much more powerful and meaningful to you and to others because they know you put in the work.